It's in the back. I'll get my tickets later on. I'll get an arm's length for sure. What's your name? Marty. Okay, so make sure you guys stop Marty. Let's build this, put the pot up big time tonight. We need somebody to walk away here richer than when they walked in the door. So when you see Marty, be sure to stop him. Remember, 6 tickets for $5. Check it out. Got the referee for the evening is Louis Stefano. And that brings us into our singles contest. It's 1 ball, and it's for the CSW Metro Division Championship. Introducing first is our challenger. From the dark side of the Matrix of Tron, weighing in at 200 terabytes, he is the tyrant of technology. He is Ovirload.
Welcome to CSW Southland Wrestling. I'm the articulator Steve Benson with the play-by-play of everything that goes down here in Kankakee, Illinois tonight at TNT Hitting. One of the most impressive high flyers, lucha libre talents, and performers anywhere in the Midwest. The tyrant of technology, the one-up player Ovirload, gets a championship match right now, exclusively with CSW Southland Wrestling. Ovirload shouting at children, trying to scare the youth of the world. My goodness, he's whipping chairs across this facility. A video game fanatic and also an expert. He's got the laser light gun as well as the Game Boy player.
Out of the soul of America in Chocolate City, DC, he weighs in at 194 pounds, representing the Soul Touchers. He is the CSW Metro Division Champion, Hot Chocolate Acid Jaz.
CSW Southland. The CSW Metro Division Championship is up first, and Acid Jaz, sporting some Power Ranger colors, and he's got the fans clapping in unison right now. Wow, we're bringing out the top stars in all of Chicago-style wrestling right away, and here we are. Acid Jaz, CSW Metro Division Champion. It all happened within a very short period of time. Jaz, a tag team champion, and then just a day later becomes the Metro Division champion, and the history and the elements behind that. Oh, Acid Jaz for a cheap shot to Ovirload's behind. I don't know what he was reaching for. Maybe he pressed Ovirload's reset button. Maybe he downloaded or he uploaded a virus. Who knows? Jaz having a few laughs at the expense of Ovirload before this match can even get started. CSW Southland, Kankakee, Illinois, a special live event on Saturday night, April the 26th. Jaz taking a sweet time getting into the ring. Ovirload seems to be stalking him. Stefano has to bag him up. Just so Acid Jaz has an opportunity to enter the ring. Acid Jaz, the CSW Metro Division champion, with golden pride at stake in this battle here tonight. There we are, the first match of CSW Southland tonight as the bell is sounded. Ovirload showed his bad temper on his way to the ring. A self-professed video game master, also a lucha libre technician, brutal striker, a chain wrestler with combinations, reversals, but most importantly, it's the bad attitude that Ovirload has that the fans will notice right away before anything else. CSW's Metro Division champion Acid Jaz won the title in CSW Northlands event in Woodstock, Illinois on October 19th by defeating Nick Cutler. He ended Cutler's long championship reign, a dominant reign, And since becoming a defending champion, Acid Jaz has defended the title against any and all challengers, including those that are not necessarily regulars within Chicago-style wrestling or CSW Southland. And that's why Ovirload, a mainstay in multiple organizations who has had tremendous success elsewhere, is having his chance to display his talents inside of a ring tonight. With successful championship defenses by Acid Jaz in recent months against Brian, I'm Not Your Boyfriend, Brady Nelson, in addition to Mike Matthews and Colin Cambridge. Clearly, there has been a bit of a coincidence in the series of victories that Acid Jaz has been able to obtain in recent months. First and foremost, Acid Jaz loves to use that weapon of Jazz destruction, that vicious left-handed hook. But more importantly than that, one of his setups is spinning chocolate mist in the eyes of his opponents. Easily was able to take down Ovirload and then try for a front face lock. Nice counter into a hammer lock by Ovirload. We talked about the reversals and the great combinations that Ovirload presents in the ring, and that's what makes him dangerous in the squared circle. Ovirload pushing backwards on Jaz and maybe even grabbing a hold of that bandana. Wow, spinning kick there, a crescent kick just landed right in the midsection of the hips of Acid Jaz as he kneels down in the corner, and a clobbering forearm and again to the back as well as the neck. Ovirload sends Jaz to the ropes and a big knee lift, puts the champion down. It seems as though the striking by Ovirload is too much for the champion to handle so far. Oh, nice drop there, attacking the right hamstring of Ovirload for a moment. Several forearms by Jaz showing his strikes. Look at that roundhouse kick by Ovirload. Ovirload flipping off the opposition in a negative way. And a spinning head scissors takeover by Acid Jaz. A little off center, but still had the damage and the flick there. And an arm drag and a clothesline put Ovirload down to the outside. Jaz doing laps around the ring as he's in firm control of the situation so far as Lou Tafano, the referee, administers a count. Oh, Jaz might be taking flight, but Ovirload takes a sidestep. He moves out of the way. Ovirload turns around. Jaz with a flying crossbody on the floor. The do-rags come out, and Jaz is celebrating with multiple fans in the front row after his most recent flying body attack on the outside. This is our first match, and it's also for the CSW Metro Division Championship. There have been rumors circulating all day about the potential of other championship matches being assigned, but none of that has been made official as of this moment. And we hope to find out more details about that later as the night progresses. Jaz on the ring apron. Ovirload runs in. Oh my. Jaz got caught. Spinning neck breaker as Jaz was laid up against the middle rope. Ovirload showing his misdirection and timing was much better than Jaz on that drop. And Jaz rolls that left shoulder up despite the fact that his right foot was clearly under the bottom rope. Maybe that could have been a cause for a rope break, but I'm not sure if Lou Tafano was quite aware of the fact that Acid Jaz had that right leg draped underneath that rope. Out of the ringside picture of the vicinity of the ring. Ovirload taking advantage of the referee's count, trying to choke Jaz while he's down in the ring. Continuing to step and twist and torque on that neck. Here's Ovirload with a leaping stomp right there, and then kicks backwards. Jaz is vulnerable at this point. CSW Southland, this one-on-one match with championship implications would be a pretty shocking set of circumstances if Jaz were to actually lose the championship in this opening battle of this event. Nice reverse and a counter by Jaz trying to twist and break that arm. Jaz sent it to the top pad, and then that extra reinforcement on that bulldog elbow smash in the back of the head. Beautiful combination by Ovirload, and you saw how Ovirload had straddled both legs intentionally so that way he could maximize the total amount of pressure and body weight that was placed along the chest of Acid Jaz at the time. in the front row along one side of the ring, giving Acid Jaz a bit of lip at this present point of time. Overload clearly distracted, giving Acid Jaz a lot of time to recover at this point. Jaz with a big spine buster puts Overload onto his back. And now Jaz in succession protecting his own head, and now in an attempt to damage his opponent's head has hit the leg drops and then that fist drop. All the momentum switching all of a sudden as Jaz gets a 2 count. Trying for a backslide attempt. Overload dragged down for a moment, but Overload rolls out of it. Quick stomp by Overload. Now Overload has stuffed Acid Jaz for the time being. Now 2 count only as Acid Jaz rolls that left shoulder up. CSW Southland, we're in Kankakee, Illinois. Inside of TNT Hitting, this beautiful facility that houses all sorts of sporting opportunities and advantages in training in multiple forms of athletic competition. And tonight it is the scene of some great professional wrestling action. This match between Jaz and Overload has lived up to expectations because it has shown a tremendous amount of combinations of moves, quickness, agility, as well as hard-hitting attacks among the body parts. Now Jaz has had enough. He's tired of being humiliated and bullied around. I've been going for sliced chocolate, but Acid Jaz was released and sent into the middle turnbuckle pad. That immediately slows down the progression of what Acid Jaz was hoping to accomplish in the ring. As Overload stands in the corner, runs in. Oh, he got caught. Look at Acid Jaz. Beautiful exploding suplex, dropping Overload right onto his head. Wow, the ricochet shot off of the middle turnbuckle pad onto the small of the back as well as the drop on the back of Overload's head. I mean, that would darn near cripple any human being, but I don't even know if Overload is a human being. Being the video game technician and the master that he is, he has some sort of a way to manage his situations out of every predicament. Clobbering double axe handle shots over and over again. Jaz has momentum, his championship's at stake. He got reversed to the ropes by Overload. Nice hook with the right hand, big boot, and a clothesline. Nice triplicate of maneuvers by Acid Jaz. Not hooking a leg earlier than he should have, and that might have been the cause of Overload easily kicking out of that pinning opportunity. The match continues. Jaz cinches in Overload. Tried for another over-the-shoulder exploding suplex, but Overload with a nice counter. Oh, high, a double stomp, curb stomp, sending Jaz head first and his forehead first right onto the mat below. Oh, what a nasty drop that was. We might have a new champion right now. Oh, that was so close. Definitely 2 3/4. The closest near fall of this match by far. And Overload, a little puzzled at the fact that he wasn't able to claim victory. But now he has that entire right knee exposed by pulling down on that right knee pad. Go behind into a half Nelson, trying to lock in the full Nelson. Jaz now getting closer to the corner, and Overload forcing Acid Jaz's head into that top turnbuckle pad. Jaz can't even see his opponent from that angle. Switches into a side perspective as Overload again forcefully sends Acid Jaz into the corner on multiple occasions. Wait a minute, Jaz with the counter, sliced chocolate. Overload takes the fall in the back of his head. Jaz the champion, but Overload's got his left boot, his left leg draped across the bottom rope. This match continues under these circumstances. Acid Jaz hearing the claps from the crowd. And Jaz might be winding up for that weapon of Jaz destruction. Oh, he was going to cream him with that shot, but he missed. Overload ducked. And a big pickup. And look at that. A Falcon's arrow drop to Jaz, and Jaz again gets the right shoulder up. Highly competitive battle between these two. Multiple near falls. You would expect this in a CSW Metro Division Championship bout, and the fans are watching to see exactly what's going to happen next. And this highly anticipated singles encounter, which has definitely raised some eyebrows in this building already. Ovirload focused in the direction towards the fans again. So now he is scaling and climbing all the way to the top rope. He flies! Oh, Acid Jaz brought the knees! Caving in the rib cage of Ovirload. And there's the weapon of Jaz destruction, the huge left-handed hook. That's it. Jaz has retained the Metro Division Championship.
Wrestling fans, your winner by pinfall, and still CSW Metro Division Champion, Hot Chocolate, Acid Jaz.
Acid Jaz still the Metro Division Champion. A huge victory in front of a great crowd here tonight. And right now, Acid Jaz has already accomplished a tremendous goal as he's gotten himself the opportunity to have his hand raised tonight at CSW Southland in Kankakee, Illinois. All right, so this makes it official. Acid Jaz is victorious, and we'll have more action inside of a CSW Southland ring in just a moment. Great victory by Acid Jaz, surviving the elements, winning this opening bout as he continues to reign as the top performer in all of CSW's Metro Division. Let's go back up to the ring to Mike Newman for the announcements of our next match.
Tag team title for scheduled for one fall.
So, fight was on.